Hi guys, I'm Dean and this is Thought Through My Eyes. Today I'm just another little tech tip coming your way about how you can use your iPhone to automate everyday tasks that you're doing on your phone each day. So stay tuned. So today I'm going to be talking about using your iPhone and an app called Workflow that allows you to just save time on those repetitive tasks that you're doing every day, like texting certain people or taking a photo and uploading it and things like that. So there's an app called Workflow. Look, in Android it doesn't exist, but they've got a thing called Tasker in Android which allows you to do similar things, but it's a bit more technical, I believe. With Workflow on the iPhone, it's quite user-friendly and you can find your way around there simply enough and just create workflows that might be useful to you. So the first thing we're going to do is go to the App Store. So I'm just going to walk you through this. So we go to the App Store and we're going to download Workflow. So you'll see, I've already downloaded it, but so it just says open, but you'll see that'll come up. So download that, add it to your phone. I'm going to now open Workflow. So you'll see I've got no workflows in there at the moment, but today we're going to create a couple of workflows, just simple ones. There's a lot more you can do if you've got the inclination and the time. It can save you a lot of time as well, so if you want to invest that time to save time later, that's a good idea too. You'll notice that there's a gallery as well. The gallery lets you choose workflows or categories of workflows that already exist, and maybe you can just jump straight in and start using those straight away. So I'm going to be creating a couple of workflows. So the first one I'm going to create is going to take a photo and then send that as a text message. So maybe every day you're out there taking a photo and then texting it to a certain person or a group of people. This could be related to your business too. Maybe you're in a small business and you're doing inspections, or you're taking photos of things and sending it on to people, sending it back to work, things like that. You could do this with an email as well. You could do it with a text message, and then at the receiving end you might have another automation process there that's then collecting that data and using it for some other process. So this workflow app is really good for people, or just individual consumers and people, but also for small businesses, for people that don't have the time or the inclination or the money to invest in doing a particular app development. You could find there's some useful shortcuts here that you could use using this app in terms of your own processes. So what I'm going to do is click on the little add button to create a new workflow, and that comes up as untitled workflow. And you'll see that there's a range of different types of workflows here, but we're going to stick with the normal. And down the bottom you'll see that there's actions. So I'm going to choose actions, and you'll see there's a bunch of actions that come up that you can use. Now I'm going to go back and show you that those actions are actually grouped into various categories. So there's different categories of automation that you can do. So this first one I'm going to show you is we're going to go to photos and video, and we're going to take a photo. So what we do is we long press that and bring it into our design area, and it shows you some options there. I'm just going to leave those options as they are, but you can take one or several photos. You could use the front or the back camera. Then what I'm going to do is add another action. So clicking on that action, I'm going to go back to send text message. So I'm going to go back to my actions here, and I'm going to click sharing, because under sharing there's a whole bunch of different sharing options. I'm going to use the send message way of sharing for this example, and I'm going to add that to my workflow design space. Now you can actually pre-populate the recipient's field, or you can get data from another workflow or another input. As you can see here, it's giving you some options. You can ask when you run it to put in a recipient, or it can be an input from a different workflow. But what I'm going to do is just add a user that's already in my contacts that I've created. In this case it's a test user, and click done, and it's going to ask me to use that anyway because it doesn't recognize it, but just for the purposes of this demonstration I'm going to use this test user. So what this workflow will do, we'll take a photo and it'll then put that photo into a text message already addressed to that user. So I'm sure you can think of a lot of applications for this in your daily life. What I'm also going to do is show you how to add this workflow to your home screen. So we click on the settings. I'm going to call it text photo or something simple like that, or we'll go with that. Text photo, oops, text photo, done. And then I'm also going to click on add to home screen. I'll choose that green icon, or you can choose anything you like, of course, and I'll click done. And that's going to open up this browser window, and it just gives some simple instructions for how to add this workflow to your home screen so that you could just access it straight away from your home screen. You can also add them to your control center as well. But in this case, I'm just going to add it to the home screen, click on the little send button and click on add to home screen. And that's going to ask me to name it, and it's going to put it on the home screen. And so you see that workflow is now on my home screen. So if I just run that, it'll open up the camera. I'll click on photo, take the photo, use the photo, and then it'll actually create the text message ready to go, and I could then send that text message straight away. So that is done. I've created my first workflow. Now, the second workflow that I'm going to create is going to use the front-facing camera to take a video and save that to an album. And this one can be quite useful if you want to take front-facing videos. Instead of having to go to your control center or to your desktop and open the camera and then switch it to the front camera and change the settings on the camera and things like that. This can give you a bunch of options to make that quicker, so you can do it in one click. So we're going to create a new workflow, and it's a normal one, and I'm going to choose actions again. This time the same again. I'm going to choose photos and video, but this time I'm going to take a video and I'm going to put that there. I'm going to use the front camera, and I'm going to use a high quality this time rather than usually the front camera by default is set to medium. And then the other important thing to remember with this one is I also have to choose an action which is to save to an album, so that when I've taken the video, it saves it automatically to an album. It doesn't just disappear. So that's ready to go. I can go through the same process, which is to give it a name. Let's call this front-facing camera, front-facing video. So that's done. I'm going to, I won't bother changing the icon, I'll just add it to the home screen. So I click done, that'll open up the browser, and I click on the send button and I click add to home screen, and that is now done. And so now I can click on that and it'll run that particular workflow, and I'll show you that. So I'm clicking on my front facing workflow. It brings up the camera, and there you go, there's the video. And then I click record and stop, and I click use video, and then that is saved to my album, all photos. I should have mentioned at the beginning that it can save to any particular album that you want. So say you wanted to take front-facing videos that save to a particular album because you're going to process them in a particular way at a later date, you can do that. So there's a couple of tips. There's a great deal of power in that app workflow. It's free, download, have a play with it, and see if you can automate some tasks in your life, give you more time to do some thinking and do the special things that you love to do. So have a great day. That's Thought Through My Eyes. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. See you later.